Welcome to the Deep Dive. You, our fellow knowledge explorers. Imagine getting news that just flips everything you thought you knew about your past upside down.
Yeah, like a deathbed confession, maybe. A hidden family secret. Something that sends you on a totally unexpected path.
Exactly. And that's what we're doing today, diving deep into an excerpt from Nicholas Sparks' latest novel, Counting Miracles.
Right. And our mission here, is to really unpack the complex world Sparks builds. We're looking at a small town, its people, how resilient they are, but also dealing with some deep losses. And how one guy's search for his past ends up changing not just his own future, but like the whole community around him.
It's a fascinating look at human connection, isn't it? How things that seem totally random can actually lead to huge personal discoveries.
Definitely. It's quite the setup.
So we're going to meet some really interesting characters. There's this military vet, Tanner, who's kind of nomadic, searching for something.
And then there's Dr. Caitlin Cooper, a steady mom, very compassionate, juggling a lot.
And an old man, Jasper, living out in the woods, connected to nature, but haunted by his past.
Yeah, and we'll see how their lives just sort of collide. Accidents, twists, turns, this local legend, it all comes together.
It really shows how you can find belonging in, well, the last place you might expect. Okay, let's unpack this. Our sources lay out this rich tapestry of lives, all converging in Asheboro, North Carolina. It's about more than just Tanner's search. It's really about finding that sense of home, of belonging, when your whole life has felt like constant motion.
Okay, so let's start with Tanner Hughes. He's our central figure, shaped by, well, quite a background. Former Army veteran, nearly 15 years served.
Wow.
Yeah, deployments to Afghanistan, Iraq, then security work with USA. We're talking places like Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, Haiti, really challenging environments.
So a life constantly on the move.
Exactly, and marked by a lot of loss. The book mentions he spent the last few years visiting the families of 23 friends lost either in service or to suicide.
23.
Yeah.
That's heavy. You can feel that sense of rootlessness right away.
Absolutely. But the thing that actually brings him to Asheboro, North Carolina, it's this bombshell dropped by his grandmother on her deathbed.
Ah, the catalyst.
Right. She raised him, after his mother died. And she tells him his biological father is a man named Dave Johnson, living right there in Asheboro.
Talk about a quest narrative kicking off, just like that.
It really is. And what's fascinating, I think, is that Tanner's journey isn't just about finding a biological dad. It feels deeper.
How so?
Well, Sparks really digs into this idea that Tanner's grappling with a need for origins, for roots. After a life defined by moving around, by loss, he needs a starting point for his own story.
That makes sense,
Yeah.
especially after visiting all those families, trying to find meaning in their grief, maybe.
Possibly, yeah. And now this confession gives him a very specific personal direction for that search, his own identity.
So Tanner gets to Asheboro, and he's pretty resourceful, right? Using his background.
Oh, yeah. He's not just wandering around. He hits the library, starts digging through old phone books, maps, trying to find any Dave Johnsons. Very methodical.
Focused until
life happens in a big way. Casey, she's Dr. Caitlin Cooper's 17-year-old daughter, gets into an argument with her boyfriend, Josh. She's distracted, upset.
Oh, no.
And she crashes her mom's big Suburban right into Tanner's brand new, very expensive classic car reproduction, a Revology car, the text specifies.
Ouch. Right into the symbol of his attempt to maybe put down some roots.
You could see it that way, yeah. It's this immediate chaotic collision of his planned search and, well, local teenage drama.
Must have been frustrating for him. And Caitlin, the mom, she gets called to the scene. What's her first take on Tanner?
It's memorable. The book says she's struck by his coiled intensity and the unusual color of his eyes. She actually wonders if he's a bounty hunter.
A bounty hunter. Wow. Okay. That says something about his presence.
Yeah.
That intensity.
Definitely. It's that guardedness, probably from all his experiences overseas. A stark contrast to Caitlin, who's this local doctor doing house calls, volunteering.
Yeah.
Very rooted in Asheboro.
So their first meeting is pure chaos, but it sets up this interesting dynamic. Outsider meets insider.
Exactly. And after the crash, Tanner, being Tanner, drives Casey home. That's when he meets Caitlin properly. And her little boy, Mitch, who's 9.
Okay, so the connection starts there.
Yeah, they start talking. You learn about Caitlin's busy life, her divorce. Apparently, her ex, George, had an affair with someone named Amber. Details that show her vulnerability. And Tanner remains a bit mysterious, but mentions his past work and this upcoming trip back to Cameroon with the International Rescue Committee, the IRC.
So he's planning on leaving again soon.
That's the initial plan, yeah.
So right away, you have this tension. He's shaped by global conflict. She's deeply local, both carrying baggage. That car crash wasn't just an accident, it was.
The spark, absolutely, the thing that forces their paths to cross.
Okay, so while Tanner's doing his quiet search and this tentative connection with Caitlin is forming, another major character comes into focus, Jasper.
Ah, Jasper, yeah. The old man living out in the URSummary National Forest, in a cabin. He's a whittler, teaches Caitlin's son Mitch how to carve, has his dog, Arlo.
He sounds almost like a figure out of folklore living in the woods.
He kind of does, but there's immense sadness there, too. What's really striking is his resilience mixed with this profound grief. Sparks tells us he lost his entire family years ago.
The whole family?
His wife, Audrey, and their 4 children, David, Mary, Deborah, Paul, all died in a house fire. Jasper himself was severely burned, like over 60% of his body.
Oh my God, that's unimaginable.
Yeah, so his life in the forest, it's not just hiding away. It feels like his way of processing it all.
Yeah.
Tending his family's memory, protecting nature, finding purpose in that.
A way to cope with immense loss. It adds this deep layer to his character. And then there's this local legend.
Right, the white deer. Supposedly super rare, 1 in 30,000 or something. People are spotting it in the URSummary. It's making local news.
Okay.
Jasper, being so connected to the forest, sees it as beautiful, of course, but also vulnerable. He knows rare things attract attention, not always good attention.
And that leads to conflict, I'm guessing.
Directly.
Right.
Enter the Littleton family. They're kind of the local power players. Clyde Littleton, the father, is a developer, an exotic hunter who likes to bend the rules.
Uh-oh.
And his sons, Josh, who is Casey's boyfriend, remember, and Eric, they're cut from the same cloth,
Yeah.
following right in Dad's footsteps.
So they see the white deer as...
A trophy. Exactly.
Wow.
Jasper finds another deer shot illegally. Then he catches the Littleton boys actively baiting the white deer, trying to lure it in.
He confronts them.
He does, and
Yeah.
it gets ugly. Josh actually points a rifle at Jasper, shoots at his dog Arlo. Just pure intimidation.
Wow. That's intense. So you have Jasper the Guardian versus these guys.
Yeah. It highlights this huge clash of values, you
Yeah.
know. Jasper has this quiet reverence for life, maybe tied to his faith. The book mentions his grandfather's stories about faith and the church, and Jasper grappling with God after his tragedy.
Right.
And the Littletons just see nature as something to take, to dominate. It's reverence versus consumption playing out right there in the woods.
It's more than just about the deer then. It's about fundamentally different ways of seeing the world.
Exactly. A fight for something precious.
Mhm.
And while all that's brewing, Tanner and Caitlin are actually getting closer.
Oh, okay. Back to them. How does that develop?
Well, Sparks shows it gradually. Tanner goes with Caitlin and Mitch to the zoo. And he connects really easily with Mitch, which Caitlin notices.
It's telling.
Yeah, she starts seeing past that initial intensity, appreciating his experience, his perspective. He seems surprisingly relaxed with them.
And then there's a dinner date.
A big one. Tanner arranges this incredibly lavish, romantic dinner. Private chef, mountain house, champagne, the works.
Pulling out all the stops.
Totally. And they open up more. Caitlin talks about her divorce, the hurt there. Tanner shares more about his military time, that feeling of emptiness, the void after deployment, the guilt, maybe of not making enough difference.
He lets his guard down a bit.
A little, yeah. He even talks about his quirky grandmother, the one who chewed tobacco and made squirrel stew. It's these little details that start to show his own longing for connection, maybe for those roots he's looking for.
So they're building something real, despite their differences.
It seems like it. But, you know, this raises that question. How do two people from such different worlds bridge that gap? She's all about community, care. He's been this global nomad searching for purpose.
How can that work?
The dinner feels like a step towards it. Vulnerability, romance, it pushes them closer.
So there's always a but in these stories.
Always. Right when things seem to be clicking, Tanner reveals something huge. He's financially independent. Rich, basically. An early investment in Apple stock. Got a tip about the iPod back in 2001, invested, and then just kind of let it grow. Lazy investing, he calls it. Point is, he doesn't need to work.
Okay. And yet he's still planning to go to Cameroon for that IRC job.
Exactly. And that's the bombshell.
I can see how Caitlin would react to that.
Oh, yeah. It hits her hard. Rejection, disappointment. She realizes he could stay. He has the means to build a life in Ashboro, with her perhaps, but he's choosing to leave for a job he doesn't even need financially.
So she questions everything. Was it just a fling for him?
Precisely. It shatters those budding expectations. It feels like a betrayal, even though he was technically open about his plan.
It really highlights their different perspectives, doesn't it?
Yeah.
She wants roots, stability. He has the option for that, but seems to be choosing displacement again.
That's how she sees it. It's the difference between saying your plans and having those plans resonate emotionally, especially when one person has choices the other feels they don't. It creates this deep rift.
Okay, so Tanner and Caitlin hit this major roadblock. Meanwhile, back in the forest, things are getting worse for Jasper.
Much worse. Jasper had managed to thwart the Littletons' baiting attempt, use some deer-repellent ultrasonic gadgets, but now Josh and Eric are actively hunting him. They're angry.
Hunting him?
Yeah. And while trying to get away, Jasper falls, breaks his ankle badly, and they just leave him there, injured, alone, with the storm rolling in.
Oh, that's awful. Just leave him.
Seems so. But then the connection Sparks built start to pay off. Arlo, the dog.
Jasper's loyal dog.
He finds his way to Caitlin's house. Mitch and Casey see him alone, realize something must be wrong with Jasper. They start to panic.
Okay.
And Casey, in a moment that shows real growth, texts Tanner for help. Despite everything, she knows he's the one with the skills to handle something like this.
So she reaches out to him after the accident and everything.
Yeah, it's a big moment for her. And for Tanner, this call for help comes right after he's had this deep phone call with his friend Glenn, talking about commitment, marriage, what really matters. He's been doing some serious soul-searching.
Perfect timing. Or terrible timing, depending how you look at it.
Right. But he doesn't hesitate. He gears up GPS tracker for Arlo, bright orange vest, and heads straight into the URSummary during the storm to find Jasper. His personal quest suddenly takes a backseat to this urgent need.
He finds him.
He does. Jasper's in bad shape, injured, hypothermic, dehydrated. Tanner uses his skills, assesses the situation, calls for rescue. But while Jasper is sort of semi-conscious drifting, starts murmuring names. Audrey, his wife, and his children's names, including David.
David, wait. The name his grandmother mentioned.
Not quite. His grandmother said Dave Johnson. But close. The pieces start falling into place later at the hospital. Tanner finds out Jasper's last name.
Which is Jasper Johnson.
Exactly. And then the sheriff fills in the rest of the story, confirms Jasper lost his son, David Johnson, in that fire years ago, and the timeline fits perfectly. David would have been Tanner's mother's age.
So, Jasper's son, David, was Tanner's father.
That's the realization. The man Tanner was looking for, Dave Johnson, was Jasper's son, and Jasper is his grandfather.
Wow. Just wow. He finds his roots by saving the man who represents them. That's powerful. Almost miraculous, like the title suggests.
It ties everything together in this incredibly unexpected, poignant way. His search wasn't fruitless, it just led him somewhere, or rather to someone he never anticipated.
It completely reframes his entire purpose for being there.
Absolutely, and changes his perspective on everything, including Caitlin.
So he talks to her, apologizes.
He does. He goes to her and basically says, look, I didn't really think through the Cameroon plan properly. He even thanks her, says she helped him realize he needed to do some real soul searching about what those deeper root systems actually mean.
So he owns it. He sees Ashboro differently now.
He sees connection differently. It's not just about finding a name in a phone book. It's about the actual people, the relationships.
But can they just start over after that big misunderstanding? The feeling of rejection she had.
That's the big question, right? It takes more than an apology. It takes commitment. And Tanner seems ready to show that. Finding Jasper, his grandfather, has anchored him in a way nothing else could.
How does he show it?
He connects with Jasper. They share stories, look at old photos of David, confirming the family link. You get the sense Tanner finds real comfort, real belonging in finally knowing his history.
He stays?
He decides to stay in Ashboro, to care for Jasper. He starts fixing up the cabin, builds a ramp for him, helps him visit his family's graves. Tangible action showing he's putting down roots.
And Caitlin, how does she respond?
They agree to try again, to start over. And significantly, Caitlin takes the initiative for their next step. She asks Tanner to go car shopping with her for Casey.
Bringing him into the family stuff. A gesture of trust.
A huge gesture. And speaking of Casey, Caitlin also confronts Josh, the ex-boyfriend. It comes out that he admitted to leaving Jasper hurt in the woods, and apparently that news spreading has hurt his social standing, so there are consequences.
Good, so everyone's kind of finding a new path forward.
It seems that way. It's really a story about how connecting with your past, even in unexpected ways, helps you figure out your present and build a different future.
Tanner finds purpose in family. He's not adrift anymore.
Right. And Caitlin opens up to a relationship that offers grounding beyond just her work and kids.
Casey shows some real maturity, stepping up for Jasper and confronting Josh.
Yeah, even she grows. And Mitch still has his bond with Jasper, who's now officially family. It's like all these disparate pieces click into place, forming this new, unexpected whole.
So what this deep dive really shows us is how powerful those connections can be.
Mm.
Even the accidental ones, like a car crash, can set off a chain reaction leading to profound change.
Exactly. And that's the heart of Counting Miracles, isn't it? We see these events, the crash, the secret, the deer, they aren't just plot points, they're catalysts. They force the characters to face what they truly need and ultimately redefine their lives.
Which leaves us with something to think about, you, our listeners. As you reflect on Tanner's journey, Jasper's resilience, Caitlin's choices, consider this. What unexpected connections, what potential miracles might be waiting just below the surface in your own life, ready to emerge if you're open to seeing them?
And open to finding purpose, maybe, in the places you least expect it.